Hi. Before the gameplay starts, this is my first video, so I'd like to take a second to introduce myself. I'm TJ, an EU West Mordekaiser OTP who has hit Challenger in season 2025 and Grandmaster in multiple other seasons. I've been playing this iteration of Mordekaiser since its release, so I have over 6 years of experience with the top lane matchups. My goal here is to share insights on the playstyle that has allowed me to consistently climb to high elo. This account was ranked up to Master a few years ago, and barely touched since. I will be ranking it up again for my educational videos. The average rank in this video is Emerald 1. For runes, my primary tree is always the same. For the secondary tree, I took Shield Bash for the extra all-in damage, and Second Wind for dealing with poke if I was laning into Rise or Jayce. Some of my initial itemization thoughts are that for boots, I'm going to go tabbies, mainly for reducing Yunara's damage. But it's also good to note that tabbies reduce the magic damage of Sylas's passive autos too. I don't think mercs provide too much value this game, as the only hard CC they would reduce is Rise's Snare and Sylas's E-Stun. My standard core build this season has been Dusk and Dawn into Riftmaker, and then conditional items. This game I'm going to look to go Spirit Visage third as my MR item, as it has good synergy with my W to deal with the burst damage from Jayce, Rise and Sylas. It has the added benefit of increasing my Riftmaker healing and Shield Bash damage. After this, I'd ideally look to buy Zhonya's, but it can change depending on the state of the game. Without any items, I don't have enough AP to deal enough damage to Jayce before he procs Phase Rush and runs away, so short trades are likely not going to go in my favour. I want to play safe and farm up for a Blasting Wind base. I'm okay with dropping some minions to save health in this lane, as I don't want to make the lane too volatile. Sylas thrives off early fights, and Talon just wants to farm up early. Just as this stacked wave is crashing, I can see that Sylas is invading my Talon at his blue buff. It's not worth me dropping the XP and gold from this wave to help him. It sucks, but XP early game is super important on Mordekaiser. You want your 6 as soon as possible. On Mord, you only want to trade when all 3 of your basic abilities are up. Since I used my E to last hit, I'm okay with using my W here for some small sustain, as it will be back up before my E anyway, and I'm not in a position to be dove or ganked. As the last minions are dying, I'm looking for an E to potentially pull Jayce into tower range for a small trade. He ends up taking aggro and a tower shot, and proccing his Phase Rush. This means he's now at lethal range. I know he will die to an E, Q, and then W with a Shield Bash auto and Ignite for a kill. Here I find the EQ that I'm looking for, but I use my Ignite before I get a Shield Bash auto off. He manages to proc Phase Rush and live on very low HP. I'm not too bothered about this, as now he has to either base and lose some of these minions to the tower, or stay and try and outplay me diving him or flash queuing him. Now that I have my Blasting Wand, I definitely have the damage to 100 to 0 him, as long as I hit every Q. But he still has his flash, so it's likely that my ult will just blow his flash, which is still fine. Here, I want to hold the wave to put him in a more vulnerable position. I find an E and I decide to go for the kill because he's very far up my lane and now his phase rush is down. He flashes my Q like we thought, but he has no phase rush, so I can just catch him. And he hugs the wall, so it's an easy Q. I decide to stay in lane and push this next wave, which in hindsight is a mistake, because I would have liked to recall and be back in lane with this cannon wave, so I can try my best to deny him some of those minions. Again, I want to hold these minions here, close to my tower, so he's in a vulnerable position really far up the lane. And I have my ult coming back up very soon.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
I decide to stop holding the wave, because my team are pinging that they want to go for grubs. So I want to have prio. I walked down just to make sure their jungler was not on the grubs already. I'm now just making sure I hover between lane and grubs to make sure I'm first to move if anything happens. I know I have 100 to 0 kill pressure, as he has no flash, and I have my flash and my ignite and my ult, so I can posture aggressively.
An enemy has been slain.
I really want to play this slowly and find a good E that would put him behind me, and then I can ult him and he can't run back to his tower. Just like this. Now he's stuck, even with phase rush, and he's just dead. And now he loses this entire wave. I decide not to push the next wave because I don't know where Sylas is, and I don't want to have to risk using any sums or losing tempo. I see Sylas in the bot river, so I decide to push this wave really quickly. I can see the Sylas coming, and I really want to play this 1v2, or even 2v2, but I want to wait out for my ult. Talon gets bursted pretty hard here, so I just ult the Sylas, and yeah, that's the damage of Dusk and Dawn. You can just 100-0 anyone. I'm looking to chase the Jayce, and Ryze appears. But instead of running up to my tower, I want to run to the Lulu with ult, and then I can turn this fight. A small tip for pushing towers with Dusk and Dawn is using your W for 2 procs. Just press W and then don't reactivate it until Dusk and Dawn is off cooldown. Dragon is up in about 30 seconds, and I have TP, so I want to pressure top and TP into the dragon when we need it. But Talon dies, so I guess if they do the dragon on spawn, we just give it. But if they don't start the dragon instantly, and my ult comes back off cooldown, I'm happy to TP in there and force a fight. I'm very, very strong. I can see that they're not doing the dragon on spawn, so I'm gonna look to TP in. Here, instead of working towards my next item, I'm quickly buying some MR just to make sure the Sylas does not burst me when I walk into the pit.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
I don't want to push all the way up to tier 2 here, because I don't have my ult yet, and I don't want to risk giving my shutdown to anyone. Yeah, if I had my ult up here, I would be playing a lot more in their face.
Has been slain. Enemy double kill.
I can see everyone else on the map. I see 3 mid and Ryze bot. So I want to push this tier 2 and get some plates, if not the whole tower. My Akali is cleaning them up in mid lane, so I feel confident staying here and pushing. With the power of Dusk and Dawn, I actually take these towers very, very quickly. Now that I have these 2 core items, and a little bit of armor and MR, I am pretty much Exodia. I'm very far ahead of the curve, and I'm pretty much unkillable. I decided to reset here, just to make sure I'm as strong as possible for the dragon coming up in 30 seconds. Since I have my ult now, I'm feeling super confident just walking up to them, tanking whatever hook or whatever damage they have, and just forcing a fight. One of the things I love about Dusk and Dawn is, after using ability, your next auto has an 80% AP ratio. So you can just walk up and auto carries like that. One thing to note is that Spirit Visage was already good here for dealing with the burst from Ryze and Sylas. But alongside having a Lulu on my team, it has insane value. I can see I have TP coming up, so actually I don't know why I'm pathing mid. I'm collecting mid wave and then I'm probably going to walk bot. Yeah. I see someone gets hooked, so I just TP in instantly. I have everything up, so I'm not afraid of anything.
Shut down.
I will happily just walk into them all here. Typical AD carry, walks into my ult range.
Legendary.
My flash here was actually pretty bad. I should have just walked away after the Yunara flashed, because my jungler and mid laner are already dead, so there's no way we could get Baron off of this fight, which means there's going to be another fight to determine the Baron. Would have been nice to have my flash for that. We want to do Baron now, and I don't have TP. Akali does have TP, so she's going bot, and I'm going to move up towards the top side of the map.
An enemy has been slain.
I end up playing too cocky here, and I get hooked and have to burn my Zhonya's. If the enemy team played this better and timed their abilities and their burst on me after my stasis, then I could have died, but thankfully they didn't. I eat another hook, but thankfully Lulu's got my back, and I can ult to get out of there. Even though we have Baron and want to be pushing, I decide to quickly do one camp and take a wave, so that I have enough gold to finish my Zhonya's. The enemies now have to deal with 2 Baron minion waves, mid and bot. They split their attention, so I feel confident just walking up to this tower and hitting it.
Destroyed an inhibitor.
And with that, we can just close out the game. Here, I'm just playing with my food a little bit. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this somewhat informative video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, or suggestions, or if there's any matchups that you want to see. Cheers.